If you visit Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, you'll notice art everywhere.
Airports commission and collect art for a bunch of reasons. Art helps keep the stress levels down for passengers in a rush. It showcases the regional culture of the airport, welcoming tourists who are about to bring new money into the local economy. It also supports the local art scene by providing jobs and exhibit opportunities for working artists.
We're heading to the airport to meet Tommy Gregory, the Senior Art Program Manager of SEA, and check out 5 art stops you should look for next time you're passing through.
From the Museum of Flight, I'm Becca.
And I'm Candy.
And we're joined today with Tommy. Tommy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Tommy Gregory. I'm the Senior Manager and Curator for the Port of Seattle's Public Art Program here at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Having public art around you kind of reminds you that you're a person, right? You're not just a number on a ticket going and flying somewhere and your time there is done, right? I think it's something that kind of is a record of time. You can remember your experience at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport by the art that surrounds you. Here in Seattle, we are one of the first airports in the United States to develop a public art program and collect art on a regular basis. They started in 1972, and currently today we are the busiest public art program in the United States for an aviation department.
So in your job, I'm sure that you have to maintain all the art around the airport. I think you recently had to restore this piece. What's that process like?
Yeah, we're standing in front of one of the pieces, one of the first round of acquisitions, and the first neon piece acquired in 1972 by local artist or regional artist John Geiss. It's very Pacific Northwest in many ways, but mainly because of the use of glass. This is the epicenter outside of Italy in the world for glass making, and outside of Vegas, it's one of the best places to bend neon in the world. Me and my counterpart, Pete Fleming, we discovered that one of the neon tubes had been jostled a little bit too aggressively, and it's really impressive actually that these are some of the original neon tubes from 1972 still glowing today. But we identified the problem and we worked with the local neon company named Noble Neon in South Seattle, and they worked with a glass master who rebent the piece. Pete and I reinstalled it into the casing that John Geiss had originally intended this presentation to be in, and it's glowing again today. But yeah, everything in an airport takes time, just like you realize getting to this zone itself. So restoring it was also quite an endeavor, but it was worth the effort. Every passenger gets to walk by this in some form or fashion. They're getting a little bit of that light on them, and they're feeling a little bit of the power that John Geiss was intending with these kind of inspirational kind of geometric shapes that are hopefully alluding to some nature.
So magicians and air travel, what's the connection here?
We get that question all the time, and I feel like it's a really easy one to answer because there's a magic in flight, just in general, right? You're getting transported from one location to another by science and technology, but also there is a mystery and a magic to it as a traveler, and I think that this piece completely embodies that. And the artist was, an amazing technician, but a lot of people do not know that this is an airbrush painting. It's 44 panels, if I'm not mistaken. There's 11 scenes being depicted.
So who are the men in the scene?
So one of them is the artist's friend, and the other one is an actual magician of the Pacific Northwest named Jonathan Doctor. And he is the amazing magician in the top hat and has graced the walls of Seattle-Tacoma International Airport for over 30 years.
It's fascinating that you can start the panel at either direction.
Yeah. I think if you're either coming or going, right? So you're either being transported somewhere else or you're coming home. It's a beautiful piece that way.
So who are we going to talk about now?
Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of artists, and this is kind of an inspirational wall too, because we did this as a part of the airport's first all-gender restroom. It's been a hit. We were able to bring in 12 different artists, predominantly from the Pacific Northwest. We were able to collect from local galleries, local independent artists, and just happy to have this kind of salon-style mix of different mediums, subject matter, but all kind of exciting and fun for like the traveler of all ages and backgrounds.
I have to ask about the title of the two artworks in front of us.
Yeah, Lori's work and her titles, just like the fierce kind of faces on the bunnies, she's not pulling any punches. And I think with public art, a lot of folks expect to have what some might call like design enhancement. So just like things that you could look at and then forget. I operate under a different kind of curatorial philosophy where I want people to come through here and see real art. I think that we're using public money and we need to use it appropriately by giving living artists a wage and making sure to get artwork that is a record of time and is telling us what's going on. And I think that you get pulled in by the quality of the painting, and then you look closer at what the subject is and what the title is. And anyway, it's from left to right, high to low. This has been such a successful collection of works for us that has led to our doing another major salon-style wall in Checkpoint 1.
All right, Tommy, tell us about this art piece.
Yeah, we're standing in front of Louise Nevelson's Night Flight 1. This piece is one of the first major acquisitions that the Port of Seattle took on for public art assets back in 1972. Louise Nevelson is a household name in the U.S. art world, Ukrainian-born, but really made a name for herself working with large-scale public projects, but also this is a large-scale piece, all made out of wood, very signature Louise Nevelson. The reason I wanted us to kind of stop here is because this piece is directly across from one of the other acquisitions in that time in 1972, but a local artist, Francis Celentano. So we have two of these actually, but this major one is called Spectrum Delta 2. It's a really great kind of conversation between two very different works of art. It's, again, like really cool to show real works, like museum quality works that thousands and thousands of people walk by daily. And whether they see it or not, they're absorbing this really strong visual culture that Seattle-Tacoma International Airport is kind of known for having.
What is the process for installing such a large piece in such a busy airport?
It's extremely difficult. This is by a local artist. His name is John Grade. We actually had to bring this piece from the artist studio. There's 400 different sections. We brought them on the airfield. So him and his team, which is a very robust team of really accomplished sculptors that worked with John, brought these things, brought them to the gates. We brought them in through the freight elevator, custom scaffolding, custom cranes. Everything was unique for this piece. It's definitely one of a kind. And anyway, but yeah, the endeavor in bringing in public art into any location in the airport is difficult. This one was significantly more unique in its complications. And it's just great to be able to stand in front of it with people who are admiring it as I think the public is every time they walk underneath.
It's amazing to come up from the elevator and see it.
It's a monumental piece, like you said. It's huge. It's approximately 60 feet tall, a little over 80 feet wide. The cantilever's off the wall 24 feet. It definitely has a wingspan like a small plane that's just parked right outside right now. But yeah, it's an amazing kind of engineering sculpture for us to bring into the airport as a part of the North Satellite renovation project.
All right, so what are we looking at?
Great, more art in the North Satellite. This is one of the more recent projects that the Port of Seattle's public art program has engaged and succeeded in. Is the North Satellite renovation. We talked about John's piece Boundary, which is still kind of in the backdrop of this amazing piece called Canopy, also inspired by the Olympic Peninsula and the kind of beautiful nature of the Pacific Northwest. This artist is named Christa Burnbomb, and also part of the stipulation of this public art project was to incorporate some level of a biophilic material. So what you're seeing is once living moss that is preserved. So it's basically a preserved moss element.
Having so many different artworks around the airport that have different mediums and different pieces within it, how do you work with so many different, going from moss to paintings to sculptures?
Yeah, it's becoming a jack of all trades is what ends up happening when you're in aviation public art. You have to kind of know a little bit of everything. When I went through art school, both undergraduate and master's in sculpture, they don't teach you those kind of things, right? But you learn, I think you get all the skills to employ good ideas in public spaces, right? So you learn how to work with glass, you learn how to work with wood, you learn how to work with bronze, and then you hope that you employ people by doing open calls who are masters in those materials.
Well, Tommy, thank you so much for the walking tour of the artwork at SEA. We really appreciate your time and showing us all these beautiful art pieces.
We're always adding more, so hopefully we'll keep it nice and fresh for you next time you'll come through.
So let us know if there's other artwork you've seen, especially in airports or other really nice design airports. We'd love to hear in the comments below. Thanks.